Beloved, you have said I am until your tongue is weary and your heart is drier than parchment, and still the bills come, the nerves flutter, the glasses sit on your nose, while you announce to the world that you see perfectly. You know how it goes. I am strong, I am serene, I am prosperous, and yet the very breath that utters it trembles, because you see, it is the human self trying to bless itself with words. Now, I must be gentle with you and firm with you. Not another formula, not another list of adjectives to pin upon the costume of the persona. Rather a turning of attention so radical and so restful that the strain goes out of the lips and the ear begins to hear. Instead of this I am business, we changed our treatment to God is. God is. God is life. God is the law unto his universe. God is the substance of every form and the rhythm of every breath. God is omniscience, knowing itself as your wisdom. God is omnipresence, here where you stand. God is omnipotence, the only activity of being. Not I am wealthy, but the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Not I am healthy, but God is life, incorruptible, expressing his life. Not I am safe, but God is a fortress and a shield. Do you feel the difference? The weight shifts from a little I trying to lift the world to the I that is the world's life. Whose I have you been finishing? When you say I am, which voice stands behind the syllables? The boasting persona, or the I that said through the Master, I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Hear the correction in love. Stop finishing I am. Let it hang unadorned, like a doorway into silence, and listen for who speaks it. Be still and know that I am God. Not an adjective to be pasted on, but an awareness to be received. The weariness leaves when the government of your life is on his shoulder and not yours. I am not giving you a new chant. I am inviting you to relinquish the chanter. We will expose the mistake and then taste the remedy in holy, quiet, first recognition, then demonstration. First God is, then the word becomes flesh in ways we do not outline. For now, right here, take a breath and rest your attention inward. You are not trying to make anything happen. You are not trying to tell God what to be. Just this: Father, reveal thyself. And in the hush there comes a voice not heard with ears, a certainty that does not thunder but steadies. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Lo, I am with you alway. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Let this be our refrain as we journey. God is, God is, God is, and I in the midst of thee am mighty. If you will keep the tongue from finishing the little I am, and keep the heart turned to what God is, you will find the strain dissolving like mist before the sun. We begin here, in this contrarian mercy. No more self-assertion, only recognition, and in recognition, relief. Now, having left the little I am unfinished, we take the next honest step, which is to remove the ornaments from the human and let God reveal God as individual being. Not I am wealthy, but the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Not I am supplied, but God is the source and substance appearing as form when and where needed. Not I am wise, but God is omniscience, knowing itself as the guidance of this moment. Do you see the center shifting? We are not trying to spray perfume on a persona. We are beholding the one life, the one law, the one presence that is forever expressing its own nature. God is, God is, God is, and because God is, the appearance called me becomes transparency rather than claimant. Our Master made this turn for us and left it on record, that we need not founder on the rock of self-assertion. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself. My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. Do you hear the humility that is power, the emptiness that is fullness? He did not try to spiritualize Jesus of Nazareth. He yielded so the Christ might live. And in that yieldedness, healing, supply, safety, all followed like shadows following a body in the sun. So our language must serve our seeing. The affirmations you have used have been training wheels, but they trained the wrong cyclist when they clung to the boasting self. Now change the speech so it changes the gaze. Instead of I am strong, rest in God is strength unfailing. Instead of I am protected, abide in God as a fortress and a shield. Use the words not to decorate the human, but to direct the heart toward the presence. Be still and know that I am God. Let the syllables tilt the lamp within until a quiet certainty replaces the drum of insistence. And then wait. Let recognition precede demonstration, because demonstration is the natural outflow of what is realized, never the prize of human insistence. The bud does not burst by command. Warmth coaxes, light convinces, life reveals. In the same way, when you sit in the awareness that the infinite invisible is the cause, the channel, and the appearing forms show up right on time without your blueprint. Fear not, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, not your demand, not your argument, your Father's good pleasure. Keep the heart steady in this. God is here now, and the whisper comes as promise and power together. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Let us make this very plain, and let us smile while we do it, because the human scene is full of friendly hypnoses that only look fierce. A hypnotist could seat you right here and say, do you see the white poodle trotting across the carpet? And before long you would swear by your grandmother's biscuits. There it goes, ears bobbing, tail wagging, while there is no poodle at all, not canine nor hair. Now tell me, would you call a veterinarian? Would you buy a little collar and a dish? Would you begin to declare, I am not afraid of the poodle. I am spiritual? No. You would wake up, you would withdraw belief from the suggestion, and in that instant the carpet is just a carpet and your heart has no dog to fear, feed, or fix. The same with the snake in the rope at dusk. You jump, your pulse races, and then a lantern comes and, it is a rope. The same with the railroad tracks that meet out there at the horizon. Take all the affirmations you like. The geometry still says they never meet, and if you walk there, the horizon escort keeps moving on. Sense testimony, beloved, is not evil. It is simply untrustworthy when hypnotized by fear or desire. You do not heal hallucination. You awaken from it. You do not polish the mirage to drink better. You turn and find the well, not by arguing with the tracks, but by light, not by cursing the rope, but by seeing. And here is where I must give our little humorous rebuke, because we have all paraded in it. Human beings walking around with eyeglasses and saying, I am spiritual, I am perfect, I am invulnerable, and the rent notice tucked in the pocket, and the nerves twanging like banjo strings. My loves, you are talking to a poodle that isn't there. You are petting it, medicating it, naming it my condition, my lack, my problem, while it is nothing but a suggestion without law, a picture in mesmerism. Stop trying to look at the white poodle and say you are spiritual. Wake up first. Withdraw the investment of belief from the appearance, and the poodle has no breakfast, no leash, no landlord. How do we wake? We return to what is. God is. God is life incorruptible. Therefore, life is the law of being, here, now. God is omniscience. Wisdom is the only mind in operation, here, now. God is omnipresence. There is no place where God is not. Not in your ledger, not in your blood, not in your journey home tonight. Not I am overcoming, but be still and know that I am God. Not I will make a way, but stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Our reliance is in the infinite invisible, not in anything that is visible. When fear whispers, poodle, answer with presence, I in the midst of thee am mighty. When lack waves its empty bowl, let the word answer. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. When danger strikes its pose, do not negotiate. Let the fortress speak within. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Soon you will notice not a trumpet, not fireworks, but a quiet dehypnotism. The poodle is not chased away. It was never there. The rope was always rope. The tracks were always parallel. Apparent problems are not fixed. They are dissolved in the light of what God is. Keep your gaze steady where reality rests, and you will find that demonstration is simply visibility given to truth. And truth does not need your argument, only your consent. Stand still. Rest. God is, God is, God is, and in that isness, appearances retire like fog before the morning sun. Now let us ask the question that quiets 1,000 arguments. Whose I did Jesus mean? When you hear him say, I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. You hear the curtain drawn on the only legitimate I. He does not decorate the human I am with ribbons. He abandons it. My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself. There is the line of demarcation. The personal, I neither authors the word nor performs the work. The indwelling I presence, Father Spirit, is the speaker and the life. Our task is not to glorify the persona that mouths syllables, but to reverence the presence that utters them through whomever yields. When he says, I and the Father are one, he is not crowning a man, he is revealing union. Not ego enthroned, but oneness realized. Not I am extraordinary, but God is the life of this individuality. Therefore, the life seen here is God's life being itself. Take care how you hear. If you hear two made into one, you wander into specialness. If you hear one recognized, you are invited home. This is the mystical arithmetic, one expressing as one. The master refused ownership of power, authorship of doctrine, credit for works, because he knew the secret we must practice. The I at the center is not the boasting persona. It is the abiding presence that announces, I am that I am. And so, lo, I am with you unto the end of the world. Is not a farewell postcard pinned to a cloud. It is the living companionship of the inner I, present now in your breathing, walking, deciding. Hear it intimately. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Therefore look within for authority, supply, and safety. Not I will make this happen, but the Father in me reveals, provides, protects. God is your law, your source, your fortress. And because God is, you may rest from assertion and move into recognition, and from recognition into quiet obedience. Set your listening stance here and now. Reverence for the inner speaker, not the outer sayer. Do not run to lips, even these lips, for rescue. Run to the I that speaks through lips when they are surrendered. Stand still always and know that I am God. In the courtroom, at the bedside, at the ledger, pause and consent. Father, thou doest the works. Then be still, quietly, for the true I will prove itself as wisdom, timing, and shelter. Fear not, little flock. The I within you lives your life. Now we must let our speech be baptized, for language either binds us to the old mesmerism or turns us toward the living presence. We are not making poetry. We are retraining attention. God is. God is life unborn, undying, effortless life that neither withers in season nor swells in boast. God is love, self-giving, self-revealing, without fear or bargaining, the tenderness that dissolves hardness without argument. God is law, the changeless order in which being beholds its own integrity and holds all things in rightful relation. God is substance, not matter packed into boxes, but the very isness from which forms appear and to which they never depart. God is spirit, formless, timeless, boundaryless, yet appearing as the very individuality that hears these words. God is light shining of itself. God is peace resting of itself. God is truth self-witnessing, self-verifying. And now gather the attributes, but do not make a museum of them. Handle them like warm bread. God is omnipresence here and here and here, without a corner of you or your day uninhabited. God is omniscience, not a library in heaven, but knowing itself as your guidance, your word in due season, the answer before the question forms. God is omnipotence, the only activity, the unopposed law of being, before which the noise of threat is only wind. Do not let these be idea cards to flash at trouble. Let them be felt realities. Sit with them until something inside relaxes its grip, until the marrow warms and there is a still assurance that does not come and go with headlines. Reset the tongue and you will reset the gaze. Not I am harmonious, but God is harmony revealing itself as order in this moment. Not I am supplied, but God is substance unfolding as sufficiency, on time and in right measure. Not I am safe, but God is a fortress and a shield, and that fortress is within me. Not I am wealthy, but the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Therefore there is nothing outside of God to crave or fear. Not I will make this work, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Hear the cadence negation of the boast, replacement by the reality, and feel how the strain drains away. Read your Psalms again and get the new meaning. The Lord is my rock, and where is rock? Inward, the unshakable ground of being at the center of you. The Lord is my fortress and my high tower, and where is tower? Inward, the lifted place of vision from which appearances look small and truth looks large. Stand still and know that I am God, and realize that the standing still is in the sanctuary of your own heart. Lo, I am with you always. This is not distance measured in miles. It is presence measured in awareness. Hear it now as intimate speech. I, in the midst of thee, am mighty. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Keep the heart on what God is until the words ignite into living awareness. Say God is, and slow down until God hears you. Linger until the syllables grow warm, until the thought turns sacrament, until the quiet rises and looks back at you. We are not decorating the human. We are consenting to reality. And as this vocabulary takes root, you will find that demonstration requires fewer words and more listening, fewer promises and more presence. God is, God is, God is, and in the hush that follows, the word becomes flesh in ways your tongue could never arrange. Now we prepare the inner room, not another word added to the tongue, but a clearing of the space within where the word may speak for itself. Begin outwardly because we live in a world that needs handles. Sit easily, not soldier stiff, not slumped in defeat, but natural. Let the shoulders drop as if they remembered gravity. Let the jaw unhook its argument. Let the breath soften until it seems to breathe you. Open the hands a little so they are not fists around outcomes. Let the mind ungrip. If it chatters, let it chatter past like sparrows. You need not chase one. Be still and know that I am God. Hear it not as an instruction to freeze, but as an invitation to rest. We are not here to get something. We are here to recognize what is. Not I will obtain peace, but God is peace. Let me be quiet enough to know it. Not I will make guidance come, but God is omniscience. Let me be empty enough to receive it. The password to this room is humility, and the humility is simple. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. That confession is not a self-beating. It is the opening of a door that the presence alone can walk through. Lay down your tools at the threshold, your schemes, your deadlines, even your hopes, and come as you are, unarmed, unarguing. Now turn gently to the center. Look to me, look to me, look within, not up to a sky, not out to a shrine, but to the sanctuary at the core where the whisper has always been whispering. Enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. Shutting the door is not against the world. It is against the noise in us that tries to sell, to plead, to explain. No shopping list crosses this threshold. If a need presents itself, set it by the door and say, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, then come in empty. Do not try to think up God. Do not try to feel God. Consent to God. Consent to the I that already is. I in the midst of thee am mighty. You will notice how the body underscores your consent breath. More unforced, heart unhurried, as if life itself were saying, thank you for loosening your grip. Now I can carry you. This is communion in its childhood. Quiet, humble receptivity. Make thy daily contact with me, not occasionally when storms blow, not only on holy days, but daily as rule of life. A few minutes, honestly kept, are better than heroic hours fueled by strain. Our reliance is in the infinite invisible, not in anything that is visible. Therefore, we keep the pipeline clear by returning again and again to this inner appointment without agenda and without timetable for results. Listen now for the companioning, presence speaking as itself within you. Fear not. I am with thee. Lo, I am with you always. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Do not reach for it. Let it reach for you. Do not package it in feelings. Let it be itself. When the room is prepared in this way, ease in body, gentleness in breath, a mind released from grasping the recognition dawns without trumpet, like light revealing the furniture that was always there. God is here, and here, and here. Keep this inner room tended, beloved, and it will become your fortress and your fountain, the place from which your days quietly receive their life. Now, let us be very quiet. Close the eyes, not as if to shut out a world, but as if to turn the lamp inward where the world is rightly seen. Let the hands rest. Let the breath fall into its own rhythm, as though it knew what to do without your coaching, because it does. Thoughts will come. Let them pass like clouds that do not know your name. Do not climb into one. Do not pull one down to examine. Simply recognize passing weather. If a thought shouts, smile at it as at a child who has mistaken the hour, and let it wander on. No ownership, no argument. Be still and know that I am God. No words from you now. Listen. Silently welcome the ancient reassurance that has never grown old. Fear not. I am with thee. Lo, I am with you always. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Do not repeat them. Let them repeat you. Let the sense of presence approach from no direction. As warmth arrives in a room when a fire has been kindled in the unseen, I in the midst of thee am mighty. Hear it not as a sentence you make, but as a voice that makes you. Notice the subtleness of it. No thunder, yet there is a quiet authority, a sufficiency, as if the center of you had become weight-bearing, a rock. God is here. God is here. God is. Listen and keep listening. If need rises to speak, yield it and return to the hush. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. I am thy fortress and thy song. The Lord is my strength and my song. He is become my salvation. Let these not be banners waved at trouble. Let them be bred within. Rest without claim, without merit, without self-description. I can of mine own self do nothing. Let even that conviction be a doorway, not a speech. The breathing goes on. The heart goes on. The presence goes on. Let the mind grow simple enough to notice that sufficiency is not arriving, it already is. Now, do nothing for a few breaths, no asking, no thanking, only awareness of being itself. I, in the midst of thee, am mighty. Feel warmth in the bones, ease behind closed lids, the sense you are carried. God is a fortress and a shield. Rest inside. When you open the eyes, lift a latch into a morning waiting, not earned. Carry nothing out but the hush. Let peace keep watch at the door. Stand still within while the feet move. Let the inner word keep singing, fear not, I am with thee. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Now, when you rise from the hush and the chair creaks and the day begins to tap your shoulder, what then? Then the word takes a body without your carpentry. The joy you were trying to pronounce begins to shine without announcement. You discover you do not need to say, I am happy, because light does not introduce itself, it illumines. The smile appears before a reason appears. The step grows unhurried without a schedule telling it to slow. This is the very scripture walking, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, not because a human mind managed an outcome, but because God is, and the presence recognized translates itself into form as surely as sap becomes blossom. Demonstration is overflow, not engineering. You will notice ideas arriving on time like birds finding a branch that was always there. A letter comes, a door opens, a face you had not arranged steps across your path, and there is your answer. There, your supply. Not I am wealthy, but the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and fullness finds its route without your hurry or your fear. The infinite invisible touches the visible in ways that do not ask your strain for permission. You do not push the river. You recognize the source, and the current bears the boat. My doctrine is not mine, and neither is my supply mine. It is the Father's pleasure appearing as sufficiency where and when needed. Protection also ceases to be a project and becomes awareness. You walk, and there is a going before, not superstition, not bravado, but a quiet heft of safety, as if a wind were at your back shaping your way. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. You will feel it before you see it, and seeing will simply be the echo of feeling. I, in the midst of thee, am mighty becomes a practical law. The phone rings you should pick up. The street you should not take goes unchosen without drama. He shall give his angels charge over thee is heard as inner poise, and accidents are left with no appointment to keep. All of this rests upon the holy wedding, the end of two, and the revelation of one. I and the Father are one is not printed on a card. It is the mystical union by which life lives. Your life. Not I can of mine own self do anything, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works, and so works get done without your trumpet and without your fatigue. This is identity in action, God expressing the infinite nature of its own being as you, without your boasting. Lo, I am with you alway. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Let the presence love through you, think through you, provide through you, and you will find that saying yields to showing, and showing is simply God is made visible. Now bring this into the marketplace of your day. When the bill arrives, when the interview looms, when the child's fever climbs, when the summons is stamped with a date, do not look first to persons, Do not run to judges or committees or even to the cleverness of your own mind. Look to the word within. Is the steel plate the protection, or is the word of God the protection? You may wear a coat in winter, lock the door at night, keep an appointment with a physician, act naturally, of course, but rely spiritually. The source remains unseen. Our reliance is in the infinite invisible, not in anything that is visible. Not, I will persuade the banker, but the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Not, I must find an advocate, but I in the midst of thee am mighty. Do you remember Moses hemmed in sea in front, chariots behind, and the human mind calculating only two bad choices? The instruction was not strategy, but stillness. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Guidance preceded safe passage. The word came before the way opened. So, with you, stand still inwardly, and the next step is given. The sea parts not because you argue with it, but because the I at the center announces its will in you and as you. Then you move, feet wet on sand. That was water a moment ago, not because bravado compelled you, but because peace led you. This is our practice. First recognition, then movement. First God is, then the outcome appears, and always in right measure, right time. Consider manna in the wilderness and water from the rock. Enough each day, not hoarded into fear, not starved into panic. Give us this day our daily bread is not a plea to a distant granary. It is consent to the presence that is bread as needed. Supply is not a warehouse. It is a presence. Not, I am wealthy, but the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and fullness translates into coin or courage or opportunity exactly when the hour requires. Notice the modesty of real provision. A check arrives with no trumpet. A neighbor knocks. An idea all at once is obvious, and there is sufficiency, no drama, only faithfulness. Carry this rule into safety. You may wear a belt in a car, but the belt is not your savior. You may choose a route, but the route is not your shepherd. He shall give his angels charge over thee, is heard as a felt rightness. Turn here, wait a moment, take that call, skip that invitation, and afterwards you realize rescue occurred in such quiet ways you almost missed it. Measure by peace and rightness, not by spectacle. If your heart grows simple and steady, if decisions rise without friction, if timing seems to meet you halfway, you are under the government of the word. Lo, I am with you always. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So, in daily concerns, do the ordinary things with an extraordinary reliance. Go to work and let wisdom guide each email. Buy your groceries and let gratitude reveal the source till the label on the loaf reads, God is. Sit in the courtroom and do not look to the judge. Look to the eye that judges righteously within, that orders timing and softens speech and removes heat from the hour. Not I will win my case, but Father, thou doest the works. Stand still inside every errand, every meeting, every danger, and keep the inner ear turned to the gentle government of the presence. Our safety, our supply, our timing arise from the unseen, recognized God is, God is, God is, and I in the midst of thee am mighty. Now we come to the plainest gate, and it swings on a small hinge. Die daily. Not dramatically, not morbidly, but practically permit the proud metaphysical talker in us to fall silent before breakfast. The one who polishes phrases, I am perfect, I am radiant, I am above. Let that one lay down his trumpet and go out by the servant's door. We have all worn the eyeglasses and then announced, I see perfectly, and we have smiled at ourselves afterward. So we practice a humorous mercy and put the glasses down. This is not self-punishment, it is self-surrender. I can of mine own self do nothing. Be still and know that I am God. In that hush, the appetite to describe ourselves loses its edge and listening begins. We are not decorating the persona. We are vacating the stage that a truer actor may step forward, quiet, unadvertised, sufficient for every real need. What dies? The pretense. The human I am perfect is the white poodle in new clothes, a costume change in the same little play. Let it exit. Not I am perfect, but God is perfection, revealing itself as order and rightness here. Not I am above trouble, but God is a fortress within whom no evil can stand. Not I will master life, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. This daily letting go is the baptism that clarifies the lens. Paul said, I die daily not to shrink, but to widen, not to lose life, but to lose the little narrator and gain the sea. So every morning lay down the nameplate, Joel, Mary, Bill, enter thy closet, shut the door on titles and projects and halos, and wait. Lo, I am with you always. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Be still and know within now, as the small self yields, rebirth happens without ceremony. Identity is discovered, not declared. God is life, and that life lives as you. God is love, and love loves as you. God is wisdom, and wisdom thinks as you. You no longer try to glow. Light simply shows in your face. Supply is not announced. Sufficiency arrives like dew, and the inner word steadies the hand. Fear not, I am with thee. This dying purifies our motives. Spiritual work is not a career for clever, nor a platform for sentiment. It is a calling that rises when inner voice has become governance. Our reliance is in the infinite invisible. Therefore, our fitness is likewise invisible meekness, steadfast listening, willingness to be unknown while God is known. Do not rush to teach. Make thy daily contact with me until the word in you must speak. The true I lives quiet, steady, real now. Now, let us make this dying daily a rule of life. Never miss the appointment. Morning and evening, set aside a few minutes that no weather, no news, no visitor can take from you. Not long, but faithful. Enter into thy closet and shut the door. Sit down and breathe until the shoulders remember rest, and whisper nothing but consent. Father, thou doest the works. Be still and know that I am God. Do not go there to bargain, go to recognize. The promise meets you there. Lo, I am with you always. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Keep it simple. Keep it unskippable. Between those anchors, practice holy interruptions. Before the call, one breath, God is. At the threshold, one breath, God is. At the sink, in the doorway, on the curb, many pauses that turn the day into a woven prayer. Not, I will handle this, but God is wisdom here. Not, I am pressed, but God is order here. Look to me, look to me, look within. You will find that 2 seconds of remembrance reorders 10 minutes of confusion. The rod and the staff are interfelt as a slight rightness, a softening, a turn you did not plan. Our reliance is in the infinite invisible. Let the pauses keep you connected. Clean the tongue that speaks between these silences. Retire the boastful I am. Do not say, I am exhausted, I am unlucky, I am superior, I am spiritual. Catch the phrase, smile at the old hypnotism, and replace it with what is true. God is life renewing itself in me now. God is law holding all in right relation. God is substance. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. God is peace, and I rest in that fortress within. Make a small litany as you walk. God is light. God is love. God is here. Let the mouth serve the heart by keeping attention on reality. Keep a humble journal, not of shopping lists, but of assurances. After the appointment, note what was given, not what was wished. A line that rose, a phrase that rang, a warmth behind the ribs, a stillness that stayed, a direction that felt inevitable. Right, fear not, I am with thee, if that is what you heard. Right, stand still, if that is what governed your step. These are stones of remembrance. They teach your doubting hours that grace is practical and present. Review them when storms blow, and you will see the thread. God is faithful. God is near. And how shall we measure progress? Not by spectacle or numbers or the applause of outcomes, but by inward rest, by increasing love, by gentle guidance quietly obeyed. Never miss the appointment. God is here and will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Beloved, let us seal this with the simplest truth we were given from the start. Instead of this I am business, we changed our treatment to God is. God is life, love, law, substance, spirit. God is omnipresence, omniscience, omnipotence. Not I am anything, but God is all. The white poodle and its kin, those friendly hypnoses fade where attention turns inward to reality. Stand still and know that I am God. Stand still, because the fortress you seek is not a wall of stone out there, but a rock within, immovable. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Your identity, safety, and provision are not in the chatter of the persona, but in the presence, recognized at center. God is here. Hear the voice now as benediction, and let it say what only it may say. I am thy shepherd, I go before thee. Fear not, I am with thee. I prepare a table before thee in the presence of appearances. I make the crooked places straight. I open, and no man shuts. Be still, and know that I am God. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Lo, I am with you alway, even unto the end of the world. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Let these words walk you home until home walks you into your day. So here is your commission. Stop finishing I am. When the tongue rises to finish it, whether with pride or complaint, pause and listen for who speaks it. Let the inner I complete itself. I am that I am. Let the human claim fall silent and the divine fact speak, and carry the quiet with you. 3 minutes anywhere, at the sink, on the curb, behind a closed office door, and meet me there. One breath, God is. One stillness. Father, thou doest the works. Look to me. Look to me. Look within. The rod and the staff are inner, and they will comfort you on schedule without your scheduling. As you go, do the ordinary without the strain of ownership. Not I will make this day succeed, but God is the life of this day. Not I will earn my safety, but God is my fortress and my song. Not I will summon supply, but the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and fullness appears by right of being. Stand still inwardly while the feet move. Let peace be your sentry. Let the slight rightness be your green light. And if storm speaks loudly, return to the simple litany. God is here. I in the midst of thee am mighty. Fear not. Now receive the blessing, not from these lips, but from the indwelling. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee unto the end of the world. Go in this assurance. Rest, listen, and let me live you.